As a vegetarian, I'm frequently asked, where the heck do I get my protein? And I'm not entirely sure why most people question it. As you can see, my arms are literally bursting at the seams. Protein is incredibly necessary for aiding muscle recovery, so how do we get it as a vegetarian, and what are the best sources for you to probably make sure we're getting all those juicy gains? Protein is one of the two key macronutrients needed for recovery. Getting it through a recovery drink is fine, but getting it through whole foods, well, that's far more preferable. And you have to remember, we don't just want protein on one hit, we want it nicely evenly distributed throughout the day. So knowing where to get it is pretty vital. Also, the added bonus of getting it through whole foods is that you're getting all those juicy micronutrients too. So you're getting your vitamins and minerals when you eat proper food, which you don't really get when you have a recovery drink. But why protein? Protein is made up of amino acids. These are the building blocks that make up your body. When you eat protein after exercise, it gives your muscles the amino acids necessary to repair and rebuild. Post-intense exercise or a long run, you're gonna want about 0.5 grams per kilo. So if you say you weigh 60 kilos, you want about 30 grams. As a runner, throughout the day, you will want a minimum of 2 grams per kilo of body weight a day. So a 60 kilo person is gonna want about 120 grams throughout the whole day. So to that end, here are 5 great protein sources, those trying to cut back on eating animal. Number 1, we'll start with eggs, the classic. We all have images of bodybuilders gulping down egg whites to make them much larger people. And there's a good reason. They're essentially a little ball of protein. I'd recommend cooking your eggs, not just to make them a bit more palatable, but to improve the actual digestibility of the protein. One study found that the human body could use about 91% of protein in cooked eggs compared to 51% in raw eggs. This is because heat causes structural changes to the proteins in the eggs. Best ways to have your eggs, poached and boiled, are probably the best, using less oil in it. Quick nutrition breakdown of eggs. A large egg with about 68 grams, gonna have 78 calories, 7.5 grams of protein, 5.4 grams of fat, but no carbohydrate. Next up are your pulses. Beans, means, gains. They are relatively inexpensive and very easy to cook with. What do I mean by a pulse? Chickpeas, butter beans, kidney beans, and you know what? They all come tinned and ready to whack into any meal. They also have the added bonus for being pretty solid with the micronutrients. Very high in fiber, potassium, and also iron. Here are my 5 pulses picks for protein. This is the breakdown for 100 grams of cooked. Red lentils is 9 grams, kidney beans, 8.7 grams, haricot beans, 8.2 grams, they're the ones in baked beans, butter beans, 9.7 grams, and peas, they're 5 grams. And number 3, we have tofu and tempeh. Both are a great meat substitute. The 2 soy boys are a really good solid option if you're looking for a vegan source. There's some suggestion that eating too much soy is bad for you, as it can mimic estrogen in the body. Studies are very inconclusive, and any effect has been found when subjects have consumed a ridiculous amount. But if there is a worry and you have problems with estrogen, then maybe play it safe. We'll start with tofu. Tofu is made by pressing the curds from making soya milk into a block. It is used loads in Asian cuisine and is a fantastic substitute for meat. There are a few different variations, but most come in the firm version. The macronutrient breakdown per 100 grams has 76 calories, 8 grams of protein, 4.8 grams of fat, and 1.9 grams of carbohydrate. Second up is tempeh, and it's a bit less known and is traditional in Indonesian cooking. It is made by fermenting soybeans, which then bonds them into kind of a cake. It may sound a bit unappealing, but did you know there are eels in your vinegar and there are mites in your cheese? Especially if you do like a little bit of cheddar. Anyways, like tofu, it can be fried, baked, and steamed. Per 100 grams, you're looking at 166 calories-ish, 20.7 grams of protein, 6.4 grams of fat, and 6.4 grams of carbohydrate. Coming up next is Quark. It is considered a soft cheese, but it's much more like a moussey natural yogurt. It is used in Eastern European countries and has origins from around Germany. On its own, I've got to admit it's not the nicest, but when flavoured, it can make some really lovely desserts. You can make a proper nice kind of protein cheesecake with it. It's frequently used in protein yogurts, and I can highly recommend the ones in Lidl made by Graham's at the moment. Get a little pouch of yogurt for 75p, and it's a proper peachy goodness. It's 168 calories for that, and 25 grams of protein. For Quark on its own, here's the nutritional breakdown per 100 grams. Calories, 65. Protein, 11.6 grams. Fat, only 0.3 grams. And carbohydrate, but it's 3.8 grams. So those were kind of 5 picks with a lot of pulses, and I wanted to give an honourable mention for oats too. As a runner, there's about a 99.9% chance you've eaten a lot of porridge. You either love it or you're gonna be sick of the stuff. It does have an amazing 4:1 carb to protein ratio, and if you have 100 grams of them, well, it's about the equivalent of having a protein shake. Plus, as I've said before, you get all those micronutrients. When we have plant-based protein though, you have to think about that some of them are incomplete, especially kind of the pea stuff. This is because they don't necessarily contain all the essential amino acids, but as ever with life, if you eat across a variety of different sources, then you'll be absolutely fine. You don't have to really worry about not getting all the proper amino acids. I hope this gives you some idea and maybe even tempt you to try some new food. Definitely try that tempeh. You can make some absolute banging meals with that. Hit me up in the comments section for more ideas. I love to try new things, and especially for vegetarian foods. Thank you for watching. As ever, if you did like the video, please give it a like, and if you could, maybe give me a subscribe. As ever, I've been the Learning Runner, and I'll catch you in the next one.